They can't get 2 yards. They won't run the ball on 3rd and 2 because they can't get 2 yards. Come on. How bad? Come on. You're going to tell me what kind of a offense is that? What kind of a running game? You can't get 2 yards?
We're going to bring him up now. G Cobb, I appreciate you doing this, brother. Thank you so much. Gary, I want to show you something here before, and then I want to let you comment on this here. So I started my program off with this. Here's the first 3 drives of the Philadelphia Eagles in this game against the Cowboys. 7 plays, 50 yards, touchdown. 12 plays, 76 yards, touchdown. 6 plays, 66 yards, touchdown. Now, here's the following 8 drives for the remainder of the game. 3 plays, -2, punt. 1 play for 1 yard, end of half. 3 plays, 3 yards, punt. 6 plays, 18 yards, punt. 3 plays, 7 yards, punt. 7 plays, 30 yards, missed field goal. 6 plays, 33 yards, fumble. 5 plays, 17 yards, punt. In the first 3 series, you average 25 plays and you average 64 yards a series. In the last 8, you averaged 4 plays, 13 yards for the remainder of the game every time you touch the football. I mean, and in fact, Gary, it's affected the defense where you're starting to see the Chip Kelly factor a little bit, where those guys are being affected on that side of the ball. Give me your takeaways on what you witnessed yesterday and some of those numbers there.
Well, I think that the big thing is, this has really kind of exposed the fact that they can't run the football. They cannot run the football because if you get a 21-point lead on somebody, and you run the ball, somewhat effectively, most of the time, it's going to be very tough for them to come back. But, I think the Eagles got exposed. I mean, the fact that, they really weren't able to put a lot of pressure on Dak. The defensive line didn't have a great game. And the secondary, they got carved up pretty good. But the big thing, though, is that offensively, because, the offense, to just fall apart like that, where, you come out, you're moving the ball effectively, you're scoring and everything, and then it's just shut down. And really is because they're one-dimensional. They can only the passing game has to work. They do not have a running game, and I really don't like the way, I think that Saquon, in a way, he's looking for the big run. These guys have not been blocking anything for the big run. You got to get what's there. So if there are 4 yards there, you got to get those 4 yards. That's the way they got to play. I just don't think that
you don't think Barkley's washed.
No, I don't think he's washed. No, I don't think he's washed.
How about this one, Gary? Let me ask you this though.
Remember it was a couple games ago when they did open up a hole. Boom, he took it to the house. But I don't see. I think it's the offensive line. They're just not. They're not the same offensive line.
You know what? I had Mark Trestman on, and he said this to me. I go, what's the most important thing for a new offensive coordinator when you roll into a building? He goes, I've got to get on the same page with the offensive line coach. I've got to know blocking schemes, and I have to know pass protection. For me to be able to have situational play calling. Gary, I wonder right there, is Jeff Stoutland then all of a sudden become a bad coach? This guy's one of the best offensive line coaches in all of pro football. Do you think that's the disconnect in the offensive approach? Is that Jeff Stoutland and Kevin Patullo are not on the same page? Because the running game, like you said, either Barkley's washed or they're running plays that don't make sense.
Well, they've known each other. I mean, they both have been here, what?
4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, they both have been here. So I don't see how it could be where they're not on the same page. But, You know, that line, you know, they're not getting any movement. I mean, come on. You know, and that's why I think, you know, in some cases where the backup they have, there have been times when he gets more than Saquon, which
take Bigsby.
He gets what's there. You know, they're looking for home runs. I don't think is realistic. That you're behind, you're running behind this line, and you're looking for home runs. I think Saquon has to get to the point where, look, if you got 3 yards there, get the 3 yards. You know, but I don't think that, you know, you're looking for big time, you know, big runs and stuff like that. I don't think that's realistic behind this line. You know, they're just not moving anybody. And then really with Jurgens, I don't know that it's in the best interest that for him to play. If his legs are bothering him, how can you get movement if your legs are bothering you? You know,
Quinnen Williams owned him.
I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't see how you're going to get movement if your legs are bothering you. You know, it's, you know, running is hard enough, but to try to move people with your legs like that, I don't think that's realistic. And, you know, I just don't think it's realistic. And, you know, the one place which they have not had a running game. Come on. Yesterday couldn't do anything. I mean, something couldn't do anything. That running game was non-existent. So it was, you know, the whole thing was their passing game, and they weren't able to get it done, man.
How about this, Gary? So in the first quarter, AJ gets 6 targets.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, he got 3. I why did they stop going? Why did they stop with the passing game?
I have to go back and look at the tape.
Doesn't it seem that they got the lead and they just went, well, we're going to play defense now, and we're not going to go to risk averse, and we're just going to we're going to win this game this way. Hey, unfortunately, they didn't realize the Cowboys showed up.
That's right. Well, you know, they had been relying on the defense to just be able to shut people down, but, you know, that obviously did not work. I mean, you know, and I don't see why you would put, you know, you're going to take your foot off the gas. But from what they were saying, you know, the Cowboys made some adjustments, but I think that ultimately, you know, they weren't able to get it done, man. You know, they made some adjustments, but a good football team will make some counter adjustments. I mean, come on. You can't.
Gary, they were a decent team. They weren't a great. They're 4-5-1 coming in. They were a good team. But you get into the playoffs, that's not going to cut it.
No, it's not. It's definitely not going to cut it. And you know, they just got exposed, man. There's no doubt about it. They got exposed because they were not able to shut the door. They could not get anything going offensively. They weren't able to do anything. Like you went through those numbers of different possessions. Come on. You know, they weren't able to get anything done. And you know, they were not able to run the ball when they went up 21-0. It wasn't on the running game.
No.
Running game did nothing. You know, if they'd have went down there and just left, you know, their running backs here, what would have been the difference? I mean, come on, that's really it's clear that I don't see how you fall that bad. I mean, that's awful, man.
Who do you put the 14 penalties and the 96 penalty yards on? Gary, is that coaching? Because to me, a lot of that is pre-snap alignment stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, is that not preparation? I mean, it doesn't take any talent, Gary, to line up in the right spot.
I think that's definitely preparation. I mean, come on. You know, that's not really, you know, a guy blocking his man, you know, the strength, the quickness, the athletic ability to go block that guy. That's not that. That's just having where you go through these stuff during the week, and you do your homework and you come in prepared for the game. You know, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run these different checks. We're going to have to make these adjustments. You know, this is what we're going to have to do when we line up, you know, and I got to make sure I do A, B, and C. That's stuff you know, that's clearly a lack of preparation. You know, you're not supposed to go in the game and do that. And the thing is, you know, playing in NFL, this is a professional league. This is not a hobby. You know, it's not something you're doing on the side. You be prepared and do your job. You know, I think somebody should go in there and hopefully some of the veterans go in there and tell guys, look, man, you're going to go out here and make mistakes. One of the worst things I saw was the kick returner. Catching the ball on the 1 yard line.
Oh, my God.
Catching the ball on the 1 yard line. What in the what? Have you ever seen a punt returner go catch a ball on one? I mean, all through my career, I'd sit there and hear the coaches say, hey, you know, either he was going to be on the 10-yard line or the 5-yard line. You do not go back from this. You're going to go down to you're going to go to the 1 yard line. Look, come here, kid. You know, I hope they don't get rid of the kid. I don't want to see the kid lose his job. But people lose their job for stuff like that.
That's right.
I mean, it's totally unprofessional. You're catching a ball on the 1 yard line. And you don't know in back of you, now we get the ball on the 20-yard line. What are you doing, man? That's totally Bush League. Kid in high school doesn't do that. I mean, come on, how do you do that? Now that type of stuff, see, that's the kind of stuff you lose. I mean, and then you go cough up the ball. With the game on the line, you go cough up the ball. Now, he's very fortunate they didn't score on that drive. I mean, I thought the Cowboys not kicking the field goal was totally ridiculous. Anyway,
ridiculous.
How do you not kick the field goal? What was that? 2 or 3 minutes left in the game?
Yeah.
And you don't kick the field goal? Come on. When the Eagles hadn't done anything offensively in the whole second half, they did nothing. And you are going to go for it on 4th down with that rather than taking 3 points and taking the lead in the game? I thought the Cowboys were trying to give the Eagles the game.
I know they wanted to be aggressive in it, but I was like, holy cow.
I couldn't believe they did that. I thought that was going to cost them the game, you know. That I said, are you kidding me? You're not going to take the 3 points with 3 minutes to go in the game. You're not going to take the lead. And I mean, and they are, well, really, it shows you how pathetic the Eagles were in that they did not seize that foolish call by the Cowboys. But that kid catching the ball come on, man. I could bring 1,000 kids in here that are little punt returners on Pop Warner League, meaning like they're 10 years old. They come in there. Oh, no, we can't catch the ball pass back that deep. Oh, you're on the 1 yard line. You catching the punt. I tell the kid, hey, come here, kid. Go ahead on in, right? Get out of your stuff. They got a ticket for you in there, okay? Best wishes, you know, for the holidays. Get out of here, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How can a kid you catch a ball on the 1 yard line? You're catching a punt. You let it go. It goes into the end zone. You get the ball on the 20-yard line, and you go, oh, no, I'm catching this and bringing this out on a punt. Now that I'm you know.
Absolutely. Gary, I got to ask you this one here. I've been asking everyone this. I asked Angelo in the last hour this. It seems to me that if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl this year or go far in the playoffs, that the new scapegoat is either going to be Kevin Patullo or A.J. Brown. I'm saying it's going to be A.J. Brown because you get a chance to move off him. You get a chance to move the money. I mean, I think they're painting it that way right now because he's been somewhat of a distraction, maybe not to the players, but more so to the organization, Gary, that he's been more of a distraction to those guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you believe that if this thing doesn't go well, because Brian Johnson was used as a scapegoat, someone's going to go down here in this. Do you think A.J. Brown would be that guy and that they would go down that lane? And do you believe that A.J. Brown will be on his football team in 2026?
I definitely think that this is something that they're thinking about. And thinking about him leaving, I don't know that I think they're probably undecided about him right now.
Huh?
But to think that he's going to take, I know they've obviously been thinking about him and everything. It depends. If things don't turn around, he probably will be, the odd man out and everything, But that's good. So you're saying about AJ, who do I think who's going to be odd man out? You say AJ or
what I'm saying? Do you think the organization's going to use him as the reason that this season was a failure? If they don't win, will they blame AJ with all the noise that's gone on this year? That there was too much going on inside the organization. Hey, they did this stuff with C.J. Gardner, said he was a nightmare inside the building. The guy all he did was he delivered and helped deliver. He was on 2 championship defensive football teams. Gardner Johnson was made to look like he was a cancer in the locker room. Every guy that's left, either it be Sweat, Milton Williams, T.O., any of these guys. And I'm not saying T.O. didn't deserve it. But I mean, the one thing I'm learning about the Eagle fans, they want someone's ass when something doesn't turn out right. And it's either going to be the head coach, the offensive coordinator, or it's going to be a player that someone's going to be served up in this dish here. And I got a feeling it's going to be AJ served up.
Well, he got to know he's on the list.
That's it. He's got to he's on the dinners list.
I mean, and he got to know he's pretty high on the list, that if it doesn't pan out, but, I can't say to him. I think that there is a list, though. I think without a doubt, that, all of the trouble, man, all of the trouble, all of the talk about, him in the ball and getting the ball out and all that stuff. So I definitely, I don't know that I could say right now that he's definitely gone. But that, and he has to know that, you got to go up, you got to talk to the owner, about whatever's going on and stuff. Because, that's something to think about, because I think that's a decision. I don't know that they've made that decision yet, but I think after the season's over, if things were to flame out like they did yesterday, you got to figure there's going to be some kind of list.
Let me ask you something here, what Shady said.
Yeah.
Shady McCoy made a comment. He goes, there's no way in hell the organization would ever extend Hurts. Do you believe that?
I don't think I don't think that's a definite. No, I don't think that's a definite. Because the guy has won. I mean, you say what you want.
I get it.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls. Come on,
I get it.
The guy's taken them to 2 Super Bowls, and I know that he might feel that way in certain ways, but I tell you what. And I know Nick emphasizes the whole point about the fact that if you turn the ball over, next to the score on the scoreboard, it's the number 1 statistic about winning is not turning that ball over. Now look at the turnovers they had yesterday.
Yeah,
those were horrible turnovers.
Horrible.
So, yeah, I don't know that I would just. I'm so sure about the fact that they're not willing to. They're not willing to hang on to Jalen. I mean, say what you want about the guy. Like I said, I know what Nick A. When it comes to not turning that ball over, that's one of his jobs. Do not turn the ball over. And yeah, yesterday was a really it was a painful loss. It was, to lose one like that was painful and everything, but I don't think you blame all of that on Jalen. Can't run the ball. Cannot run the ball. Come on. They can't get 2 yards. They won't run the ball on 3rd and 2 because they can't get 2 yards. Come on. How bad? Come on. You're going to tell me what kind of offense is that? What kind of a running game? You can't get 2 yards? I mean, you go from what they had last year to the way they run the ball this year, as bad as they've thrown the ball. They've run it worse. I mean, as bad as they've thrown the ball, the drop they've had with their running game.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Do you think it was a bad move by Howie Roseman extending Saquon Barkley when he didn't have to?
Yeah, I know, but I think that looking back, they've had some injuries. That's clearly been a part of it. But looking back, the big guy at guard, man, Big Becton, man. Big Becton moved people around, and but they've had the injuries, and they do not have the same offensive line. That's the biggest difference, because they were able to run the ball. When you run the ball, it takes pressure off your passing game, and it takes pressure off your defense too. Because you run the ball, guys go over there, they got time. When they come off the field, they come off the field for a while. And if you get a lead, it's very difficult to come back against a team that's running the ball down your throat. And the fact that this might be the biggest decrease in the history of the NFL, where a team went from running the ball so well one year to what it's doing this year. And, I know some of the guys are banged up and everything, but I mean, they can't even,
Gary, no back that gained $2,000 in NFL history. I think there's 9 of them. Nobody's rushed for over 1,400 yards.
Yeah, I know that, but he's on the verge of what, running for what, 700, 800 this year?
I think something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's that's tough, man.
How about this? I'm going to ask you this question on you Douglas brought this up, and you tell me, brought it up on IP today. Said that Jalen Hurts decides to be a leader when he wants to be. Do you believe that?
I don't know what he means by that, because if you're the quarterback, you're the leader whether you want to be or not. I don't know what he meant by that, but this whole thing with Jalen, hanging on to the ball.
He stands up when he wants to stand up for things, but when things are really kind of hitting the fan, he's not.
I know my man Hugh.
I know you do, and that's why I'm asking you.
But I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing I've learned, Gary, in Philly. You fucking start losing games, everyone's off the top rope on you, man. I mean, hey, man, you get nobody cares you went to 2 Super Bowls, dude. Nobody cares. They don't care. You've had all this winning. Hey, what happened in that? Hey, the Cowboys, dude, I think they could have lost to the Falcons. Everything would have been all right today. You lost to the Cowboys like that.
I know. That is extra. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. The Cowboys are definitely hated in Philadelphia. So losing to the Cowboys in that manner, folks feel like they were violated yesterday.
Yeah. Hey.
The guys going like, hey, look. They it's like somebody goes and sees somebody leaving a man leaving their home. As a guy's pulling up, there's a man leaving his home. Look, hey, he's not talking about something. He's talking about going getting some ammo or something.
Hey, Gary, I had my social media on Sunday. I had people going, there he is. Look at him. Sileo, all of a sudden, man, that thing started going 21-7, 21-14. all of a sudden things went south going, oh, what's going on here?
Hey,
F Hurts, what's going on? I know that thing went from there to there within a matter of 45 minutes.
I tell you what, if somebody wants to be safe,
yeah, don't go to
not
Philly.
Put on some cowboy hat, some cowboy stuff, and be somewhere around, walking down the street or whatever. That's not smart.
No, that's not going to happen. No way, man.
Woo,
all right.
boy, I'll tell you.
Listen, short work week. Makuba's now with a fractured ankle.
I heard that. Yeah.
It looks like Adoree may not be out of concussion protocol. That means Ringo and Sidney Brown back there in your secondary going against 8-3 Bears. Now get this, Gary. If the Bears win on Friday, they're in the 2-hole. The Eagles slide to the 3-hole because they'll go to 9-3 on the season.
That's right. Well, what time did they have that prayer session at?
Oh my God!
Now, I mean, that was a painful one there yesterday, boy. I got to give it to them. That was to lose in that manner. See, if it was just back and forth and everything.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But don't go 21-0.
No.
And you got people, people gonna, oh man, they were just, hey, party, and then to gradually see it chip away like that was, man, that is the kind,
So Nick Sirianni today was asked if he's considering making a change at coordinator. He goes, no, I'm not considering making a change. Now, before we all sit here and go, oh, I remember sitting on a Monday and I remember hearing Nick say, I got all I need here in the building. And by Friday, Sean Desai was fired. So, I mean, hey, things changed like the winds there, man, on the ocean with the Philadelphia coaching staff.
This is, I tell you what, I hope this ends up being a good year, but this is definitely a good book.
Oh,
somebody's writing a book. This would be a great book.
No,
man.
you know what my wife said the Eagles are like? The Eagles are like Brett Favre, and Jalen Hurts is like Brett Favre in a way. And she means this. The guy will throw for 3 touchdowns in a game, have 2 picks, give you all the drama you want. I'm not saying Jalen will have 2 picks. I'm talking about the highs, the lows.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. If you want drama, you watch the Eagles because there's a ton of winning, there's a ton of drama, and it's a good book.
Yeah. I mean, just with AJ yesterday after the game, he's talking, after the game. That in itself, just the whole thing with all the stuff that's been going on, with the fact that, hey, he was involved in the game in a positive way. The game, he's catching balls and everything, but you lose the game.
Yeah.
You lose the game. How you feeling, AJ? And just that, I mean, it's just, this is a good movie. I tell you, it's a good movie. That's playing out. So
how do you think? Finally here, how do you think this ends?
Yeah.
Do you think they're playing championship football
right now? This is not championship football. No.
Okay.
And the thing is, maybe it jolts them too up.
Okay.
Some teams I've seen, some people wake up. When it gets bad, they wake up now. That's the thing is, I don't know. I would say that this offense could really wake up. I don't know that. I don't know that they are, but man,
that
was painful there yesterday, man. That was ugly, man. That's ugly.
Hey, who would have thought
that was abuse?
Who would have thought at the beginning of the year the Eagles would split with the Giants and the Cowboys?
Wow.
I thought they'd have swept both them teams.
That's right.
Right?
I would have thought. That's right. That's a crazy division. I mean,
Rams are the best, right?
Right now, the Rams are the best team I see out there right now. Rams are. That's not, they're playing good football on both sides of the ball. And right now, they're the best team that I see out there right now. But still got a good month and a half or so to go. So we'll see if anything changes. But right now, the Rams are definitely they're the best.
Hey, I want to leave you on a personal note. Did you hear Bob Robustelli died?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Bob Robustelli died. Yeah, he died last week.
Is that so? I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, complications or something. And, they texted me and told me that he had passed away. And so, I sent Chris and Mike. I played with them at Catholic High.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent those guys and all that. But, yeah, man, untimely death, passed away. Good man. You know what I mean? A lot with the Babe Ruth leagues and all that when he was there. I think if I'm not, he's a Catholic High guy too. But I know that he worked with Mickey Leone and all the Babe Ruth League guys. And you and I both played in that Babe Ruth League.
Yep. Well, I'll definitely, make a point to send my regards up, and I'll make some calls up there.
You bet. G Cobb, have a great Turkey Day.
All right, you too,
my friend.
All right, buddy.
You got it. That is Garry Cobb.